Open your book to page 346. Let's start with number 2. You have 3x cubed minus 8x squared plus 8x minus 5 divided by x minus 2. The instruction asks you to use synthetic division to divide. Go ahead and get all your coefficients. So you get 3, negative 8, 8, negative 5, and you divide by. Now you have to take the opposite, right? Or if you set this equal to 0, you solve for x, you get x equal to 2. Okay, so you go and get the 2. Drop the first number, multiply, you add, multiply, you add, multiply, you add. Okay. And again, to figure out what this exponent this is, right? Just look, you get x cubed divided by x, you're going to get x squared, right? So the first one is going to be x squared, or you can count backward. This is the remainder. This is 0 power, 1 power, 2 power, right? So you're going to get 3x squared minus 2x plus 4. Again, everything just line up, right? And this is the remainder, so it would be plus 3 over x minus 2. And that would be your answer. Let's go to number 10. You have x6 minus x minus 1 over x plus 1. So when you divide, make sure you have the 0 for the mixing term. So you got 1 for the 6th power. So this is for 5th power, 4th power, 3rd power, 2nd power, 1 power, and the 1. So make sure you check carefully. Make sure you have enough zeros to cover all the missing term. And this one, again, if you set this equal to 0, you solve for x, you're going to get 1. Right? Just take the opposite. So drop the number, multiply. Oh, this is plus 1. This is plus 1, so you have to use negative 1. So drop, multiply, you add, 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 multiply. So again, you got 6 power divided by 1 power, you're going to get 5th power, right? So this would be the 5th power. So x to the 5 minus x to the 4 plus x to the 3 minus x to the 2 plus x minus 1. And that's it for this one. So watch out for the signs. Let's go to number 12. You have x to the 4 minus 2x3 minus 2x plus 2 divided by x plus I. So you're going to get coefficient 1, negative 2. Now you have to watch, there's a missing square term. So there's no x squared, so you have to put a 0 for the missing x squared term. And then you divide by the negative I. So you drop, multiply, and you add, so you got negative 2 minus I. And then go ahead and multiply, so you're going to get 2I plus I squared become minus 1. So you add, I'm going to just switch this over, so negative 1 plus 2I. Okay, then next go ahead and multiply, so this is going to be positive I, and this would become minus 2I squared becomes plus 2. So when you add, you're going to get I. When you multiply, you're going to get negative I squared, so it becomes positive 1. So you add, you get 3. So this one you have to be very careful on this one. So again, x4 divided by x, you're going to get x cubed. So this would be x cubed. Now this one, I'm going to factor out the negative. So factor out the negative, so I get 2 plus I x squared. This one, since this is a negative begin with, I'm going to factor out the negative also. So factor out the negative, I got 1 minus 2I x plus I, and the remainder would be 3, so plus 3 over x plus I. So this one is very bit challenging, so you have to be very careful as you do this. Okay, let's go to number 14. You have 4x cubed minus 5x plus 6 divided by 2x plus 3. So notice there's a 2 in the front of the variable. So what you need to do, you have to go and factor out the 2 from the bottom first before you can. When you use synthetic division, you cannot have any coefficient in front. So first you need to go and factor out the 2 from the bottom. So leave the top alone. So you got 4x cubed minus 5x plus 6. So factor out the 2. So you get x. Factor means divide. So divide, you get plus 3 over 2. And you can check, right? 2 times x give you 2x. 2 times 3 over 2 give you 3. So now this is your new division over here. So think of this as factoring out the 1 on the top and the 2 on the bottom. So like factoring out the 1/2. That's what that is. Okay. Okay. So now let's go and use this divide. So you're going to get 4 for the cube. Now notice there's no square, so you have to put a 0 for the square, minus 5 for the x, and the 6. Divided by, now you have to take the opposite, so it would be negative 3 over 2. Okay, so you drop the number, multiply, you get negative 6. You add, multiply, you get 9. You add, you get 4. You multiply, you get negative 6. You add, you get 0. So this is the remainder. So this divide exactly. So this is going to become equal to 1/2, right? 1/2 from here, right? So you're going to get 1/2 times this part is this part of it. It's going to be 4x squared minus 6x plus 4. Okay. So again, this divide by this is this over here, but there's 1/2 in front. So, you have to, so after you've done your multiply back in, so distribute, so you get 2x squared minus 3x plus 2. Okay, let's go to page 351. And let's do number 2. Yeah, p of x equal to x to the 4 plus 3x cubed plus 9x plus 7. And they want you to evaluate p of c. Okay, that's what you're looking for when c equal to negative 4. So it means you want to put c in here, put negative 4 in here. So they want you to use a synthetic division. So synthetic division and evaluation are interchangeable. So that's going to use a synthetic division. So you're going to get 4, 1 for the 4th power, 3 for the cube, and again there's no square, so you put 0 for the square, and 9 and 7. Now since this is already equal, this is already solved for you already, so don't change opposite, don't make into opposite, just make into 4. So you drop, multiply, you add, multiply, you add, multiply, you add, multiply, and you add, you get 35. And then you use a remainder theorem. So evaluation and remainder are the same. So in this case, the p of negative 4, when you put this, it will equal to 35. Okay. So 35 would be the answer. Let's go to number 16. You have x cubed minus 2x squared minus 3x plus 6 equal to 0. And they give you one of the answer. They give you R1 equal to 2. Okay. So they give you one of the answer, and you have to solve for the other 2. Right? This is cubed, so you're going to get 3 answers. So they give you 1. So you want to use the synthetic division to divide. So 1, negative 2, negative 3, 6. Now this is already solved already, so don't make it opposite, right? So 2. So drop, multiply, you add, multiply, you add, multiply, you add. And again, the remainder must be equal to 0 because this is one of the answers. So it means when you divide, you will come out exactly. So if the remainder is not 0, it means you're doing something wrong. You have to go back and double check. So this will become x squared plus 0 minus 3 equal to 0. Okay. So now you can go and solve, right? So plus 3 on both sides. So again, you want to get to the x squared equation, so that way you can use all the technique you learned from before to solve. So you get x squared equal to 3 take the square root, so x equal to, and when you take the square root of the variable, remember to put plus or minus on the other side. And so that's your R1, R2, R3. Let's go to number 20. Number 20 is the other way. Okay, so far you use the standard deviation to solve, right? But now you're going backward. Right now they give you the answers and you have to come up with the equation. So number 20, your R1 equal to 2, R2 equal to -3, R3 equal to -4. So your equation would be x minus 2, x plus 3, and x plus 4 equal to 0. So again, this answer came from here, this answer came from here, this answer came from here. So now all you have to do is just go and multiply out. So let's go and use the multiplication. And again, from here, it doesn't matter which two you multiply first. If you multiply this first or you multiply this first. Okay? So you can do it either way. So if you multiply the end first, then you're going to get x minus 2 times, and this one, if you remember using the master product thing, okay? So the first term is going to be x squared. The middle term is you adding, so be plus 7x. Now you only can do that when there's no number in front, right? So 7x and plus 12 equal to 0. Again, if you don't get that, go and use your FOIL method, FOIL out. Then after that, you can go and distribute. So you're going to get x cubed plus 7x squared plus 12x. And after that, you go multiply, and I'm going to line it up, so be minus 2x squared minus 14x minus 24 equal to 0, right? So I get x cubed plus 5x squared minus 2x minus 24 equal to 0. Okay, so that's number 20. Let's do number 26. Number 26, you have, I'm going to do a reverse. I'm going to have R1 equal to negative I, R2 equal to, I'm going to write R2 over here, R2 equal to I, and R3 equal to negative 3. The reason I'm doing this is because with the I, there are a couple of ways you can do this. Okay? One way is using the conjugate. Okay? So you're going to get x plus I, right? This came from here. This came from x minus I, and this one came from x plus 3 equal to 0. So this is one method, and when you multiply, you always multiply the conjugate first. So this would be x squared, and this would become minus, and I times I is I squared. I squared is negative 1, so, and this already have minus, so become plus 1. And now when you multiply, you're going to get x cubed plus 3x squared, and this would be plus x plus 3 equal to 0. Okay. So this is one way of doing it. Another way of doing this is using the root equation. So you got x squared minus r1 plus r2 x plus r1 r2 equal to 0. So from this two over here, this part over here, you're going to get x squared minus, okay, when you add, you get 0. When you multiply, you're going to get negative I squared, so it becomes plus 1. So from this part, you're going to get x squared plus 1 from this two, and that's what this is, right? See that? Okay. Now, these have advantage and disadvantage. For this one, this is fairly easy, so this is quicker. But when this is messy, then this method is better. So it depends on the problem. Again, if it's messy, use this method. If it's simple, use this method. And so from here, you're gonna have the x squared plus 1. Right? This is from this part, and you have to get the x plus 3. And from here, they're the same, right? So you're going to get x cubed plus 3x squared plus x plus 3 equal to 0. And when you're looking for equation, make sure you have equal to 0. If you don't have equal to 0, then it's not an equation, and then the answer would be wrong.